She goes for a 2-hour run every morning. How do you go for a 2-hour run and then you come home and you don't shower? So you know when you have something and you don't realize the full potential? That's what this video is about. So I've had Reddit. I've been using Reddit for quite some time. But I realized I've been too much on the serious side of Reddit. Okay? Because I just found this video by this YouTuber called Court Reezy. If you know, you know. And she basically inspired me to look through these Reddits and basically just give a reaction of the foolishness that I'm going to be reading. People say some wild shit when it's anonymous, okay? And watching that video, I was like, what the fuck? So basically we're gonna be reacting to the shit people say on Reddit. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So the subreddit we're going to be going through is the same one she did, Am I the Asshole? And there's like a shit ton of posts on here, so that's why I'm gonna be going through that one. Okay, so the first one says, am I the asshole for bringing up my brother's premature birth at Christmas dinner to get my parents to shut up? I'm a nurse practitioner and the primary care provider for a lot of low risk maternity cases at the practice where I work. I also work hand in hand with the doctors and midwives to create a healthy maternity, birth, and postpartum situation. My fiance is completing her residency. We live together and have for a few years now. We aren't in a hurry to get married. We originally had plans to do so a couple of years ago, and then we got really busy for 2 years. When I read fast, I start messing up. But these are long, so it is driving my very religious parents crazy that their youngest son is living in sin.
Nice.
I don't really care. I see where this is going. I don't really care. I am an adult and I do what I want. We are getting married in June. So we are visiting my parents for Christmas, and the way it came together this year, everyone is at my parents' house. So that's my folks, my 3 siblings, myself and fiance, and 7 grandchildren. So 17 people. At dinner, my mom starts going on about how she's so glad that we're finally getting married and she won't be embarrassed at church anymore. And my dad says how proud he is that his 3 older kids, who all either waited to get married before moving in together or got married right away after moving in together. My fiance was getting embarrassed and was getting mad over this stupid argument we have had too many times. And a family dinner was the last straw.
Okay! That is it! This is the final straw!
I have asked them repeatedly to just accept that they cannot control how I live my life. I refuse to stay with them when I even visit if I come alone. Hotels are just easier. So I started talking about a premature baby I had been reading about. It was about 3 months premature and weighed about 1.6 pounds. It was super strong and healthy for being born so little, and the NICU had high hopes for the baby doing well. My parents, my mom and dad, both got deer in the headlight looks on their face. Too bad. Should not have fucked around with my fiance's feelings. So I asked about my older brother. I don't understand. Why did they get a deer in the headlight to look? Because you started talking about a premature baby. Anyways, so I asked about my oldest brother. He was born almost 4 months premature. Is there a chance that we could check out the family album where we keep all the records of family births and stuff? I already know my brother was over 9 pounds and almost 23 inches long when he was born. My grandmother told me all about it the first time my parents tried to shame me. The subject gets changed very fast. After supper, my parents told me that I should not try to embarrass them with private things that are not my concern. I told them if I If I heard anything about my living arrangements ever again for the rest of my life, I would make sure to keep bringing up the fact that my mom was in her second trimester when they got married. My parents were so mad for telling them how to behave in their own house, but my fiance is happy when they seem to be off the subject for good. You are most definitely not an asshole. Your parents are very hypocritical and they should just mind their business. That was a good one. When I first started reading it, I saw where it was going. And yeah. No. Like, judging people in 2022 about not being married before living together is wild. Religious or not, because we all know that those people back in the day, they were not living up to a religious standard. So for them to be judging, stop. Oh my god. Okay. Am I the asshole for silently getting up and walking out of the restaurant during New Year's Eve dinner after I was told to pay for everyone at my table? My in-laws. She's a 32-year-old female who recently inherited a good amount of money from her mom. I kept the money in a separate account as I still haven't decided what to do with it, and I didn't want it to go to waste. I noticed my husband constantly bringing up the inheritance money and making countless suggestions as to how I should spend it. Red flag. Sir, was it your mother who no. Husband or not, sir, mind your business. Anyways, he was making suggestions on how she should spend it. Another thing is he expects me to pay for nearly everything in the past couple of weeks. Red flag number 2. It's time for a divorce because clearly he cannot understand. He cannot adjust to you being rich. Because obviously you're rich if he expects you to be all of a sudden doing all this. Like, come on. Bold. For New Year's Eve, my husband and I met up with his family at a restaurant to celebrate. It was going fine until I found out that I was expected to pay for everyone at the table. My husband's mom joked about paying for dinner out of my inheritance pocket, which made me livid, but I showed no reaction. Just silently paid for my own food and drinks, then got up, made my way out of the restaurant. They were shouting after me like a crowd, and my husband tried to get me to come back, but I drove home. He got back at 3 a.m. yelling at me.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the knife.
Saying I was pathetic to get up and walk out on him and his family after they relied on me to. So how are you guys paying for this woman that got her inheritance? How? How are you paying? How? So he got back at 3 a.m. Because they relied on her to pay for their food. They thought that she would be gracious enough to do it, but they were wrong. He said I humiliated him and his family, and what I did was an attempt to get back at them for not being able to help mom when she was sick. Not true is all I'm gonna say. He's mad and is saying that I caused a huge rift between his family and me when it wouldn't have hurt me to pay for the celebratory dinner. Somebody said, so let me get this straight. Your mom died after an illness, and the thing in your in-law takes from this is great, now she can pay for everything. Yeah, you're not the asshole. And I 100% agree. Absolutely not. And then the fact that her husband sits there and allows it. Okay, here's another one. Am I the asshole for refusing to take care of my grandchildren on a trip my son paid for me? I have a son, he's 30 years old, and 2 grandchildren. One is 4 and one is 5. I take care of them 2 to 3 times a week for 3 to 4 hours a day. I don't mind taking care of them, but it's exhausting. Yeah, I can imagine. At the beginning of November, my son invited me to go with him and his wife, children, and mother-in-law to travel and in-laws to travel from the 15th to the 22nd. I asked him how the trip was, and it wasn't cheap. So I said I didn't want it because it wasn't something I wanted to spend at the moment. He offered to pay as a gift, and I decided to accept on the condition that I would not babysit my grandchildren at any time, and this would be my vacation. He agreed. In a few spaced conversation, I asked why he didn't leave the children with my ex-husband during this period, as it is a very adult and romantic city. They said they wanted a family trip.
Man, fuck them kids, bro.
Okay, those kids ain't gonna remember that shit. By the way, my ex-husband loves his grandkids, and they spend almost 3 weeks at his house once. He didn't go on the trip for other reasons. I wasn't very proactive in taking care of my grandchildren, honestly, apart from a few well-spaced moments. My son, wife, and his in-laws took care of the kids. I obviously spent time with them. This trip, we basically spent the morning and afternoon together. At night, we were free to do whatever we wanted. I took the opportunity to visit some restaurants and hopping alone. My son and his wife took turns with his in-laws at night with my grandchildren because most places weren't really family friendly. The 6th day, I decided to stay at the hotel, drink some wine, and read a book. My son found out I was staying at the hotel and asked if I could look after them. No. If you wanted, this is a family trip, right? If you wanted to bring your kids, then you need to bring them everywhere you go. Don't throw them. Don't throw your little cocoa melons on somebody else. Okay? Like you said, it was a family trip. You wanted to bring them, so you dragged them wherever you go. Okay? So he asked if she could look after them, and I declined, saying I had other plans in my room. Don't blame you. He started to complain that everyone was helping and taking turns. Okay, they're your kids. Taking turns, except me, who didn't help with the whole trip he paid for. You offered to pay for it. The lady already told you she didn't want to go. You offered. I reminded him that it was his choice to bring 2 children in a completely non-family friendly city, and then I said, before I even accepted his gift, that I would not take care of children because I wanted to relax. Period. We ended up arguing, and he said, amongst other things, that I could be a little bit more grateful for his gift and make this concession for 3 hours for them and the in-laws to have a free night. But if you wanted free time, you shouldn't have brought the kids, as I said. But I'm deciding to be an asshole. I stuck to it, and in doubt he wouldn't respect this, I ducked into the pool area the whole night. He tried to show up in my room with them kids and just dropped them off. Oh my god. Things have been tense ever since, as he said I was an asshole the whole trip. Like, you take care of them like 2 to 3 times a week. That's helping them enough, because that means that they don't even have to pay for daycare. Yeah, you're not the asshole, right? Okay. Okay, so next we have, am I the asshole for kicking out my roommate because of her hygiene? Let's get into it. I have a roommate who's 18, who has zero respect for personal hygiene. We've been living together for 4 months, and I can't stand living with her anymore. She doesn't shower. In 4 months,
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
In 4 months, she hasn't showered once. She doesn't even attempt to shower. Like, she doesn't pretend she's showering. Oh my. She goes for a 2-hour run every morning. How do you go for a 2-hour run and then you come home and you don't shower? She doesn't have friends. She doesn't have family. She doesn't have a boyfriend. She's obviously not homeless. She lives with someone. There's a shower. I can't stand the smell anymore. I can only imagine, to be honest. I can only imagine. And it makes me sick to my stomach. I try to talk to her about it, but she just brushes it off and says she'll shower. She'll shower, but she never does. Yeah. If you gotta talk to somebody about showering, they're not gonna shower. Because if I gotta tell you you stink and that you need to take a shower, you don't care. You don't care about anything. Like you don't care, bro. You don't care. There's nothing that bothers you in this world if I gotta tell you to take a shower. Last week I told her that I can't stand the way she smells and how the apartment smells because of her, so she either starts showering or I'll have to evict her. Obviously nothing's changed, so this morning I contacted the landlord. I explained the situation and asked if he can evict her. He came over and the second he stepped in, I could see he was trying not to throw up.
What the fuck is that smell?
He called her and told her she had 30 days to move out or she will be forced to removed by force. There are people that live like this. There are people that live like this. My roommate is furious and hasn't stopped calling me names. I don't think I'm in the wrong here, but a couple of people told me I'm being inconsiderate by having her evicted. No. You're not. You're doing yourself a favor. Good job. Good job. So close to Christmas and she's in her first year of college and I may be interfering with her studies. Shower. Take a shower. It's that easy. Just shower, please. You want soap? I can get you a soap. Bar soaps are cheap. I'll even buy you a body wash if you want. I'll give you a rag. Maybe you don't use rags. That's okay. You want a towel? I'll give you the essentials necessary for a towel. So if she's not showering, is she even washing her clothes? You can't be 4 months.
I'll have to ask my accountant about that.
Update. She saw this post and called me a bitch. Well, maybe she's the only one in this world that hasn't showered for 4 months. Because she saw that post and immediately she knew it was you. She's special. She's special. She's starting to sue for cultural discrimination. What culture? My neighbor talked to his lawyer and she said that even if she does, she will lose because poor hygiene is a biohazard, and she said it, therefore she is putting my health at risk. In the contract, it stated clearly that if any of us have anything that could put the other at risk, could be evicted on the spot with no prior notice. So giving her 30 days to move out is more than he's obligated to do. That is a good landlord. On another note, my friends reached out and agreed that I'm in the right and their reaction was not cool. I'm assuming they're saying that what she's doing is not cool, because they won't come over for an hour because of the smell. So telling me that I should put up with it for longer was terrible of them. What? Big update, guys. I'm crying. Crying emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. She's showering right now. It worked. It worked. No. I don't think you're an asshole. Take a shower. Please. Please. Shower. You stink. Fishy. That's wild. Oh. What culture? What culture doesn't shower? Please. Please. If I'm ignorant to this information, please. What culture doesn't shower for 4 months? Let me know. Please. I think that is the last one, because after reading that, I'm slightly in awe. In awe. I thought I wasn't gonna find any that's like completely blows my mind, but I did. I did. So that is the video. Thank you guys for watching. How did you feel about these confessions? Did you feel like they were assholes? They weren't assholes? In between? Some were wrong, everybody's wrong. Let me know. If you guys know any other subreddits that has like wild confessions, please let me know down below. And yeah, if I find some more, I'm going to like double back and post a part 2. So yeah, like I said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.